Good morning, students. Today we'll study about the laboratory preparation of carbon dioxide in chapter 9, carbon and its compounds, class 8 chemistry. In the previous class, we have studied about the physical properties of carbon dioxide, and now how, and also the simple method of preparation of carbon dioxide we have seen. Today we'll see how it is prepared in the laboratory. So in the laboratory, these apparatus are drawn. This is the apparatus in which we can prepare the carbon dioxide gas. So what we have to do, we have to take a wolf bottle, and this is the thistle funnel which is connected, this long tube like structure you can see, and here it is the jar where the carbon dioxide is collected. Now what we have to do, we have to take the calcium carbonate in the wolf bottle and some dilute hydrochloric acid, and with the help of, when this marble or this calcium carbonate comes in contact with the hydrochloric acid, this apparatus first set up like this. This thistle funnel is connected with this jar. So when what happens when we put some few pieces of calcium carbonate here and a few drops of hydrochloric acid, when it is passed through the funnel, what happens, this calcium carbonate comes in contact with the hydrochloric acid. Here I have written the reaction. Hydrochloric acid comes in contact with calcium carbonate to form calcium chloride, that is CaCl2 is formed, and H2O, that is water, is formed, as well as the gas which is liberated is carbon dioxide. So the gas which is formed here, it will go from here to tube to the gas jar. Here we can see the bubbles. This gas which is produced from this after reacting of the calcium carbonate and the hydrochloric acid, this is the carbon dioxide gas which is produced. So this is the laboratory method of preparing carbon dioxide gas. Now why we are using the calcium carbonate here in this reaction or in this laboratory preparation of carbon dioxide? Because you all know that calcium carbonate is easily available as well as it is very cheap. That's why this calcium carbonate is specially utilized in the laboratory for the preparation of carbon dioxide. Now how will you test whether the gas CO2 gas is the gas which is produced in this jar is CO2 gas? So there are two tests for it. The first test is that when we pass this carbon dioxide gas in the lime water, in the beaker containing the lime water, when this carbon dioxide gas is passed through it, the lime water turns milky because of the presence of calcium carbonate. But what happens when we pass excess carbon dioxide in the jar, this milkiness disappears. So this proves that this gas which is present in the jar, when it turns milky after adding lime water, it shows that this gas is carbon dioxide gas. This is the first test. Now the second test is that when we bring the burning candle in the jar which contains carbon dioxide, then what happens? The flame gets extinguished, because we all know that CO2 is neither combustible nor it supports combustion. Means it does not help in combustion, neither it is combustible gas. That's why when it is brought near the carbon dioxide gas jar which is having carbon dioxide gas, then what happens? This flame gets extinguished. So this is also the second test for to show that whether the gas which is produced is carbon dioxide. Now this carbon dioxide gas which is prepared here in this apparatus or in this laboratory preparation, it is collected by the upward displacement of air, because carbon dioxide is heavier than air. So this is how the carbon dioxide gas is produced in the jar, or it is collected by the upward displacement of air. Now we will study about the chemical properties of carbon dioxide. You all know that carbon dioxide is a covalent compounds, and second main chemical property is that it turns moist blue litmus paper red. Means when blue litmus paper is passed through the CO2 gas, then what happens? The blue litmus turns red. And that's next reaction of, or the chemical properties of the carbon dioxide is that it reacts with the hydrogen gas. Means CO2 when reacts with hydrogen, that is 3CO2 plus 6H2O, what does it form? It forms methane as well as carbon monoxide and water. Another reaction is a reaction of carbon dioxide with the water. What will happen? So when carbon dioxide gas reacts with the water, it can easily react with the water and it forms carbonic acid, that is H2CO3. And the fourth main chemical property is that reaction of carbon dioxide with metals. So whenever any sodium, magnesium or potassium, which is highly reactive metal, when they come in contact with the carbon dioxide, then what does it form? It forms magnesium oxide plus carbon is formed here. So whenever, not only this magnesium, in place of magnesium we can take calcium also, or any other sodium also. When what happens, when it comes in contact with the carbon dioxide gas, it forms carbon as well as the oxide of that metal. Whether if it is taking magnesium, we are taking, it forms magnesium oxide. If we are taking potassium, it forms potassium oxide, and if we are taking sodium, it forms sodium oxide. So these are the chemical properties of the carbon dioxide gas. The first is that it is a covalent compound. It turns moist blue litmus paper red, and it reacts with the hydrogen to form methane as well as carbon monoxide and water. And not only this, it also reacts with the water to form carbonic acid, which is an organic acid, and it also react with the carbon dioxide, react with the metals, highly reactive metal like sodium, potassium and zinc and other, to form oxide of that metal as well as the carbon is produced. So here these are the laboratory preparation of carbon dioxide as well as its chemical properties, physical properties. I have already discussed in the previous class. So you might have understood how the carbon dioxide is prepared in the laboratory by simply by adding dilute hydrochloric acid with calcium carbonate, that is marble chips, in the separators, as you can see. So what happens? It forms calcium chloride plus water plus carbon dioxide. So this is the laboratory whole, it is the process of how we can prepare the carbon dioxide in the laboratory. Tomorrow we will discuss some other chemical properties of the carbon dioxide gas. Just now I have discussed 4-5 properties. 4-5 properties I will discuss in the next.